Live from our studios on Karaba Avenue, this is the QTV Nightly News and I am Joel Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Information Minister Dr. Ismaila Ceesay formally tabled a motion on Monday before parliamentarians for their consideration and approval of the appointment and salary scale for the appointed Access to Information Commissioners. The ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government this weekend instructed the ECOWAS Commission to deploy a mission to assess the financial implication of the ECOWAS missions in the Gambia and in Guinea-Bissau. The Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, Tuesday presided over the signing ceremony between Summit Education Services in the UAE and the Gambia Maritime Administration for the establishment of the country's first ever maritime training school. $250,000 worth of medical equipment and items was presented to the Birkama District Hospital and Kirman Mahal Post by the Aliu Saja Jallo Foundation in collaboration with the Birkama Seattle Society. In sports news, Oslo FC are champions of the QCell-sponsored Nawetan football competition after beating new side FC at the Yundum football grounds on Saturday. These and other stories coming ahead in the next half an hour. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now, Information Minister Dr. Ismaila Ceesay formally tabled a motion on Monday before parliamentarians for their consideration and approval of the appointment and salary scale of the appointed Access to Information Commissioners. Aliu Ceesay has the details.
The 5 commissioners are appointed by the President in consultation with the Public Service Commission, subject to the confirmation by Parliament in line with the Access to Information Act 2021. The 5 appointees are Nina McDowell Gay, a veteran broadcaster and former Information Minister as chairperson, John Charles Njai, former chairperson of Tango and current chairman of YMCA Gambia as vice chairman, Babukar Cham, veteran broadcaster and proprietor of City Limits Radio as a member, Baye Emil Toure, former president of the Gambia Press Union as a member, and Ya Ami Toure, a legal practitioner as a member. Minister Ceesay is now seeking Parliament's approval of their appointments and pay scale.
The selection criteria of the commissioners. The forum, that is co-chaired by CSOs and government agencies, presided over the development of benchmarks for the purpose of establishing the following core yardsticks for the nomination of the commissioners. Yardstick A, requirements of the 8-Year Act 2021. Yardstick B, gender. Yardstick C, age. Yardstick D, profession. Yardstick E, religion. Yardstick F, ethnicity. And yardstick G, experience.
Honorable Abdullah Ceesay, member of all Yundum constituency, expressed support for endorsement of the appointees.
Are they qualified? Are they okay with the Access to Information Act? These are some of the things that we were looking at. From my own perspective, as a representative, I don't know all these personalities, all these nominated members in person, but I have the conviction that they will do justice to the Act if the National Assembly confirms them. Because one of them I have followed for so many years, working as a journalist in the Gambia, in the name of Babukar Cham. He is a person of, a distinguished personality who has served this country in different capacities. I understand. And of course, at his own level as a journalist. So for the National Assembly to confirm the nomination of this list, I think is essential.
The motion was referred to the Parliament's Appointment Committee for further scrutiny and to report back to the plenary during this current session. The Access to Information Act provides that every person has a right to access information from a public body after making a request in writing to the information officer of the concerned body. As a result, the law provides that suitable information officers are appointed at all public bodies. The Act also provides for the establishment of an independent commission to ensure that decisions and disclosure of government information can be reviewed independently. The Act compels all public bodies to create, keep, organize, and maintain its information in a manner which facilitates access to that information. Every public institution must have an information officer responsible for keeping up to date and respond to requests for that information. However, an information officer may refuse to grant access to information which will cause substantial prejudice to the security or defense of the state or endanger the life, health, safety, or privacy of an individual. The law also provides punishment for a person found to commit an offense by concealing or destroying public information. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, at its 65 Ordinary Summit convened in Abuja, Nigeria this weekend, the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government instructed the ECOWAS Commission to deploy a mission to assess the financial implications of the ECOWAS mission in the Gambia and the ECOWAS Stabilization Support Mission in Guinea-Bissau. Aliou Cisse again.
The summit, attended by President Barrow and other sub-regional leaders, was convened under the chairmanship of Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu to discuss the latest developments in the sub-region. In a final communique, the authority tasked the mission to evaluate the current security and political situations in the Gambia and Guinea-Bissau concerning the status and operations of the missions. In 2017, ECOWAS deployed its troops to the Gambia following the political impasse. 8 years on, the troops continue to remain in the country amidst the ongoing security sector reforms. The authority urges the government and stakeholders of the Gambia to expedite the adoption of a new constitution. On the transition process in Guinea, the authority welcomes the relative progress achieved, including the planned holding of a referendum on the constitution this year. It welcomes ongoing interactions between the Commission and the transition authorities and commends the Guinean authorities for reaffirming their unflinching membership in the ECOWAS community. Regarding the situation with the newly formed Alliance of States of Sahel by the three breakaway countries Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, who were also having their first summit at the weekend, the authority expresses disappointment with the lack of progress in engagements with the authorities of those states and instructs the President of the Commission to facilitate a more vigorous approach in line with the decisions of the Extraordinary Summit of 24 February 2024. The authority designates Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of Senegal, as ECOWAS facilitator in its engagement with these countries in collaboration with Faure Gnassingbé, the President of Togo. The authority welcomes the offer of General Umar Sissoco Embalo, President of Guinea-Bissau, to support the engagement, especially with Burkina Faso. President Tinubu was re-elected chairman of the authority for another year. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, the Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, Tuesday presided over the signing ceremony between Summit Education Services in the UAE and the Gambia Maritime Administration for the establishment of the country's first ever maritime training school. And Sumana Esonyasi was at the event, and this is his report.
The establishment of a maritime school is to train young people and prepare them for jobs in the maritime sector. The Summit Education Services is widely renowned for providing quality maritime courses in specialized schools across Europe and the UAE. The Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, underscores the significance of the event and the impact the establishment of the training school will have on the lives of young people. Minister Silla also highlights government's resolve to strengthen the capacity of maritime administration and personnel.
The maritime ecosystem is one of the biggest employers within the economy of West and Central African states. From fisheries to maritime transportation to cargo and business, we have hundreds of thousands of people employed in this sector.
Following the signing ceremony, Karamo Bakari Jane, Director General of the Gambia Maritime Administration, tells journalists that land has already been allocated for the construction of the school and that the school is expected to be operational sometime next year. His counterpart from Summit Education Services, Captain Vic Patra, Director at the School of Maritime at Centurion University in India, shared message of gratitude to the Gambia government through GMA for collaborating with them to establish a school he says will have a huge economic benefits to many young people, particularly those in the maritime sector.
And to us, it's our land at Bakau Cape Point. It's already fenced, so now we had two lands, one at Senegambia for the headquarters, the other one at Bakau, we left it there in case we have somebody or we can build a maritime school there. Fortunately for us, this summit has come, and we are grateful that they are willing to work with us, and they are going to build the place as soon as possible. I hope, hopefully, it will start in the next 3 months.
We'll be training nearly 500 seafarers in different areas of the maritime industry, starting from marine engineering, nautical science, marine catering, and the ratings. As the minister said, that we don't have to just go for the higher education, we'll start from the low skilled to high skilled. And I'm sure our stakeholders, the main stakeholder will be USET, and with collaboration of USET, we'll develop all types of training.
Gambia's High Commissioner to India, His Excellency Mustafa Jawara, expressed delight at witnessing this important development. He implores GMA and Summit Education Services to train as many young people as possible.
Now, after signing of this agreement, there's another responsibility, commitment of the parties to this agreement to ensure that the objectives are realized. And I have no doubt that that will happen.
The establishment of a maritime school is expected to have a major impact in what is already a growing sector in the Gambia, and would provide training opportunities, empower maritime professionals with the requisite knowledge and skills, as well as employment opportunities for young people. Ansumane Sonyase for KTV News.
That report there by Ansumane Sonyasi will take us to a commercial break. When we return, we have some more local and sports news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
Hello, boss. Operation launched. Go on, Bomber, go on. I don't understand. What is it, Bomber? Hello, boss. I don't understand. Amazing discounts on all the best products.
But it's really easy to understand. During Buddy Days, take advantage of exceptional discounts up to 50% on tile, sanitary, and light. From June 29th to July 13th, you will be splurging. Buddy Mat, welcome home.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fix Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now to the rest of our stories. The Aliu Saja Jallow Foundation, in collaboration with the Birkama Seattle Society on Saturday, presented a 40-feet container of medical items and equipment worth $250,000 to the Birkama District Hospital in the West Coast region and Kirmama Health Post in the North Bank region. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Established in 2022, the Aliu Saja Foundation has made several life-changing interventions in diverse sectors in many communities, including food items to hospitals and scholarships for students. The latest items include examination beds and mattresses, refrigerators, computers, telescopes, printers, televisions, amongst other medical valuables. Modufal Dumbia, Vice Chairperson of the Aliu Saja Foundation, highlights some of the foundation's intervention areas in the health and education sector.
The foundation has rehabilitated classrooms, blocks in Kermama, and also furnished the entire schools with chairs, as well as also the kitchen and tiling of some classroom in Kermama. Not stopping that, the foundation also had been sending in consignment of medical items, distributing them to the district health centers in Kercherno, Nemakunku, Albreda, Esau, so as far as Jatapa in Kiang. So the foundation had been doing that, and this is not the first time. And also, the foundation has been also giving some other donation to Kanifing General Hospital as well as the RVTH.
Honorable Pamane is the local coordinator for the Brikama Seattle Society.
We are very much grateful to this charity association and the Brikama Society that are definitely doing a fantastic job of trying to see materials that are needed in our hospitals that they know or feel the government cannot do it all. They are complementing that effort. I would want to register, some of our challenges that we have during the clearing of these containers. We want the authorities to understand that these materials are for public use and they are free, they are charities. So obviously, if the containers come to the ports, we definitely want easy clearance of the containers. That will encourage and motivate the donors.
Receiving the items, Lamin Sanyang, the officer in charge at Brikama District Hospital, gave assurances that the materials would be put to good use.
These things will serve to create that conducive environment for the healthcare workers in these two health facilities to deliver. People doing this could have something else to do, but yet they said no. We are from communities in the country, and these communities really are in need of certain things, especially in the healthcare. Though yes, government is doing the best, they are trying a lot, but government cannot do everything alone. So let's see what we can do to complement their efforts. So this is why these materials are here. I give this promise to Brikama Seattle Association and ASJ Foundation that these materials that we have received will be used into good use and will definitely be maintained in the facilities to be used by staffs of the facility, patients of the facility, and escorts of the facility to improve service delivery.
Authorities of the beneficiary health facilities believe the items will complement the Health Ministry's efforts towards strengthening primary health care and providing better health care to Gambians. Reporting for QTV News, I am Mam Sheikh Ngom.
Now, the Gambia College Socio-Historical Fact Finders held a cultural performance and certificate presentation for the students following a historical fact-finding mission to Guinea-Bissau. The event is held at the Gambia College campus in Brikama. The visit to Guinea-Bissau allowed 65 Gambia College students to explore the historical significance of international pre-colonial era heritage sites in the Greater Senegambia region. This allowed the students to conceptualize the participation of the people of the Gambia and the people of Guinea-Bissau within the framework of global capitalist development. Babukar Mbub, history teacher at the Gambia College, spoke of the importance of research in history.
Research is the only tool that we historians believe that you cannot succeed in your history career without being a researcher. And any historian who failed to adopt the principality of research is not considered to be a historian in the field of academy.
Mamadou Jallo, head of the School of Education at the Gambia College, explained the importance of field trips for students.
What is your understanding? What are your appreciations of their cultures, their beliefs, their lives, and so on? How do you see what you have seen there? What is your understanding? And then to enhance that, I would advise that most of the time you keep your own journals.
Demba SM Yabo, registrar at the Gambia College, calls on the students to make the best use of the opportunity.
You are the ones who are going to stand before our children to tell them things that they have never heard. And whatever you are going to tell them, you should try to make sure that they are facts. So going to Bissau will add value to what you learn in the classroom, so that some of the theories that are not facts, you will adjust them.
Aissa Tundau, vice principal of the Gambia College, says the representation of the African history has tended to be one-sided and calls on historians to focus on both genders while rewriting our history.
One side of the whole story of Bissau that is talked about. and all what I hear is Amilcar Cabral. It's all about the man, and we talk about her story. Because if we were to look at history and we also look at her story, then another important person would have come out in the discussion, and that is who? Titina Sila. Because Titina Sila also fought in the Guinea-Bissau War. She was born in 43, and she died in 73. And she died when she was going to the funeral of Amilcar Cabral. That was when she was shot dead. And she was a young woman of 30 years who joined the revolution and fought for the independence. She fought guerrilla wars, and then she fought for the independence of Guinea-Bissau.
Ismail Abba, a final year student at the Gambia College, gave an overview of their journey and some of the places they visited.
The agile and committed Mr. Mboub-led team paid a side visit to the old slave house in Keshau. The group got up as early as 4 a.m. and with breakfast and lunch cooked already. Everyone prepared and the team left by 5 a.m. At Keshau, we were exposed to the house where captured slaves used to be kept for transportation to the Americas. We saw all materials used to capture, control, and transport slaves to their destined lands.
The event also features cultural performance by the different ethnic groups in the Gambia to show our rich and diverse culture. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai. The report there takes us to sports news in a moment. Now, Oslo FC are champions of the QCell-sponsored Maritime football competition after a 1-0 win against New Side FC at Yundum Football Grounds on Saturday. Our sports reporter Momodo Gajaga was there and he now reports.
An end-to-end exhilarating football final was decided not only by goals but by the two teams' attacking power, which they displayed right from the start. Eventually, Oslo FC's style of play paid off in the 36th minute when Musa Sane wonderfully controlled the ball before unleashing a tremendous left-footed drive into the roof of the net. The goal sent the Oslo United fans into ecstasy. It was to be the goal that determined the final. New Side FC pushed hard, but Oslo FC stood firm, guaranteeing that the boys in blue were crowned champions of the QCell-sponsored Yundum Maritime football final on Saturday. New Side FC had some good spells in both halves, creating opportunities to at least level the scores, but were not able to take their chances. The Oslo United goalkeeper was called into action on numerous occasions, but eventually kept a clean sheet. Despite the beauty of the football on display, the match was not without a little disruption when referee Mohamed Kante requested to be replaced by the fourth official due to discomfort on his muscle. However, the interruption did not seem to affect either side, and the match carried on. Ibrahim Mane, coach of Oslo United, the champions, said he was not surprised by the result.
This game, so
we knew we were going to win this final. Thank Allah that we didn't have any troubles, and that was our prayers. We eventually achieved. Jere Mane, coach of New Side, blamed the referee for the defeat. However, he said his players performed well.
I will talk about the referee. Referee play against us. Momo Jemo observe the referee, and then New Side. We have there. I really appreciate the way my players will play, and then I'm very happy for them.
Oslo FC received the trophy, medals, and check, much to the delight of their numerous fans. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we got time for. But before we wrap up this bulletin, here's the recap of the headlines. Information Minister Dr. Ismail Assisi formally tabled a motion on Monday before parliamentarians for their consideration and approval of the appointment and salary scale of the appointed Access to Information Commissioners. The ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government this weekend instructed the ECOWAS Commission to deploy a mission to assess the financial implication of the ECOWAS missions in the Gambia and in Guinea-Bissau. The Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asilla, Tuesday presided over the signing ceremony between Summit Education Services in the UAE and the Gambia Maritime Administration for the establishment of the country's first ever maritime training school. $250,000 worth of medical items and equipment was presented to the Birkama District Hospital and Kirmama Health Post by the Aliu Saja Jallow Foundation in collaboration with the Birkama Seattle Society. In sports news, Oslo FC are champions of the QCell-sponsored Nawetan football competition after beating new side FC at the Yundum football grounds on Saturday. And before we close, a reminder that Gambia's Prince sensation Jena Mariam Basbite will be arriving at the Banjul International Airport at 6 p.m. tomorrow. We are sure she would like to see many people welcome her. That's all we have for you in this edition of the Bulletin. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another Bulletin. Thanks for watching.